I have done mostly what most men do, and pushed it out of my mind. But I can't forget, if I wanted to, your 4 feet trotting behind. Day after day, the whole day through, wherever my road inclined, your 4 feet said, I am coming with you, and trotted along behind. Now I must go by some other round, which I shall never find, somewhere that does not carry the sound of your 4 feet trotting behind. When we think of dogs and the gifts they bring to our lives, so many words and attributes come to mind. Unconditionally loving, non-judgmental, wholeheartedly forgiving, devoted, patient, intuitive and highly sensing, affectionate, gentle, calming, comforting, brave and protective, loyal and selfless, best friend, companion, and family member. Dogs are the purest form of humanity and love that can exist on this planet, and dare I say, dogs complete us. Tammy not only exemplified, but epitomized each and every one of these traits, and then some. From the day of her birth on December 29th, 2004, and each moment through last Saturday, October 17th, 2020, and ever after, as the memory of her legacy resides within each of us, Tammy has brought joy, comfort, peace, hope, support, and ultimate companionship. Today we reflect upon her life, and you will hear her memories shared by those who were closest to her. But we also remember and revere the two-way street of love, loyalty, protection, and selflessness that flows back and forth between dog and human. The relationship between humankind and the canine world dates back for thousands of years. The symbiotic relationship has roots in the working dynamic between man and beast, but there is something extra special about the dog, who has managed to wiggle into and wag its tail in the darkest recesses of our hearts, loving us even when we feel most unlovable, and creating a bond between man and beast that is unlike any other on this earth. And while we reflect upon the generous gifts of dogs like Tammy, we also recall how important it is that we as humans are charged with caring for them and protecting them, much like DJ and his family have done for Tammy. I'd like to share with you a poem titled Lend Me a Pup, which is the message that I imagine was in the universe that fateful day that little chunky brown Labrador retriever made her way towards DJ and into his heart so many years ago. I will lend to you for a while a puppy, God said, for you to love her while she lives and to mourn for her when she is gone. Maybe for 12 or 14 years, or in this case 15, or maybe for 2 or 3. But will you, till I call her back, take care of her for me? She'll bring her charms to gladden you, and should her stay be brief, which it always is to us, you'll always have her memories as solace for your grief. I cannot promise that she will stay, since all from earth return, but there are lessons taught below I want this pup to learn. I've looked the whole world over in search of teachers true, and from the folk that crowd life's land, I have chosen you. Now will you give her all your love, nor think the labor vain, nor hate me when I come to take my pup back again? I fancy that I heard them say, Dear Lord, thy will be done. For all the joys this pup will bring, the risk of grief you'll run. Will you shelter her with tenderness? Will you love her while you may? And for the happiness you'll know, forever grateful stay. But should I call her back much sooner than you've planned, please brave the bitter grief that comes and try to understand. If by your love you've managed my wishes to achieve, in memory of her that you've loved, cherish every moment with your faithful bundle, and know she loved you too. DJ, thank you for the love, protection, and devotion that you have given to Tammy. She could not have asked for a better dad, and she is so lucky to have had you. The memories and stories of Tammy can be shared best by those who were with her day to day, lived with her, worked by her side, and were loved daily by her. I'd first like to invite Michael Garcia to come forward and share his memories of Tammy. And you could take your mask off.
Thank you. As everyone here knows, DJ is a man of few words. So he asked me to keep this very brief so that we could be on schedule for everyone else to speak. As many of the staff in Wright and Ford can attest to, his messages are genuine, from the heart, and long-lasting. So bear with me. Despite popular belief, scientific studies have determined that dogs are indeed not colorblind. They can see a condensed spectrum of colors compared to a full set of colors that many of us see. I truly believe that Tammy saw every color as an equal because she didn't care if you were black, white, brown, etc. She would approach everyone from 4 legs to none. This was one of the most respectful traits that I saw in her, the ability to love everyone, and the inability to be afraid of anyone. She was so caring, ever courageous, and beyond compassionate to the people she encountered, all traits that we should strive for. There was never a time that Tammy would miss an opportunity to run over to someone in need. During services, I would hold her leash very close to me. But like any superhero, she knew when someone was in need and would run through the crowd, quite literally, with me very literally trailing behind. She was ready to jump into action. I cannot count the times that I have apologized to families for having her barrel through the crowd, only to have them say that it was not a problem. At that moment, it was exactly what they needed. Side note, one time I witnessed Tammy sniffing at a large bag of caramel popcorn that a lady smuggled into the funeral home in a very large purse, and she started to dig it out like contraband. And she would have eaten it if I had not stopped her. Sorry, that was an internal note. I shouldn't have read that. The most asked question we've all received while working with Tammy here is, whose dog is this? Although DJ may be her owner, I would argue that Tammy is all of ours. She had the supernatural ability to bring those who knew her together, and she became someone a stranger would want to know. Through DJ, she became a staple of the community and will forever be ingrained in our hearts. From the UPS driver, whom she would wait at the door every afternoon because he had a cookie for her, trailing our lead family ambassador, Jim Howarth, through the parking lot because he had a cookie for her, perking up for Grandma and Grandpa, who had a bag of cookies for her. She loved cookies. As one of the first support dogs in New Jersey, Tammy will always be remembered by those she helped. Even in her later years, especially as 2020 being the most difficult for many of us, I witnessed her strength to get up every day, walk up those cement stairs to get through the front door, and stand at attention in the hallway to greet her families that she lived to serve. She did what she loved, and she loved what she did. One of my favorite memories while working with Tammy is when I would sit with her in the back room as DJ would deliver a eulogy in this chapel. Just about every time he'd ask people to bow their heads in a moment of silence, Tammy would take her cue, clear her throat, and release her signature thunderous bark that could be heard all the way from the back room. It was not out of disrespect that she would begin to bark, but out of concern, because she wanted to ensure that everyone was okay. Nonetheless, we would immediately usher her out of the building like the Secret Service to the nearest bunker that we could find. This is a moment I will truly miss. So as a tribute, I would like to ask that we give Tammy a moment of silence. That was Tammy's barking. Serene and Nalani have been practicing their barks, so everyone be ready. I would like to finish by acknowledging the unmistakable bond that we witnessed between DJ and Tammy. they are definitely forever friends. Although she loves serving the community, she lived to be around DJ every day. Friendship is truly the most heavenly gift of all, and we will miss her greatly. And in the style of DJ services, I would like to leave you with a quote. I know that he loves excerpts from The Little Prince, but this isn't it. I'd like to think of Tammy as a legend, and what better way to leave her with a message from a legendary rock singer that we all know as Tina Turner. You're simply the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone I have ever met. You did an outstanding job. Good night, Tammy. We love you.
Thank you, Michael. That was beautiful. I now invite Priscilla Fay forward. She has some words to share as well.
Real difficult. Well, actually, you gave me a great segue into our piece. Everyone that I work here with knows that I love to always have a poem ready. And nice that Michael actually ended his with Tammy being your best friend. Well, my poem is called My Friend. And I thought it would be nice that the staff here who knew her best would come up and we all say it in unison. Okay? We'll try. I'll try to speak loud. Okay? So this is where we part, my friend, and you'll run on around the bend. Gone from sight, but not from mind. New pleasures there you'll surely find. I will go on, I'll find the strength. Life measures quality, not its length. One long embrace before you leave. Share one last look before I grieve. There are others, that much is true, but they be they, and they aren't you. And I fair, impartial, or so I thought, will remember well all you've taught. Your place I'll hold, you will be missed. The fur I stroked, the nose I kissed. And as you journey to your final rest, take with you this, I love you best.
Thank you to DJ's support team. Our work family is family indeed. We welcome anyone else who would like to share a story or a memory or anything special about how Tammy may have touched your life. You can stand up where you are, just make sure you're clear, and you can take your mask off while you speak.
I've never done this before at a funeral, so, well, 16 years ago, DJ moved in, and he's the most wonderful neighbor. Then he came in with this beautiful, bouncy little puppy that he was so proud of, and look at my Tammy. Well, she was the best neighbor anybody could ask for. When I was outside, she always ran up to me, and of course, everybody knows that Michael and Sharon, DJ know, I have a little Shih Tzu, which doesn't like other dogs. Well, DJ came out one day, and Tammy decided she wanted to be friendly. Well, Oliver wanted nothing to do with it. So so she decided to whap him on the head with her big paw. So Tammy taught my dog not to disrespect women ever. But she was the best.
A lady. Always a lady.
Yeah, I mean, he never disrespected her again, DJ, after that. And once in a while, when DJ wasn't looking, she'd leave me a present in my front yard. And I had to get that in there. But she didn't do it lately. But I just wanted to get everybody, let you know what it's like to have Tammy is a neighbor, and DJ's wonderful because she was always there coming out whenever. I didn't get to see a lot of her because DJ was so busy, but when she did come out, she always had to come up and wag her tail and say hello to us. So, and Tammy will be missed in the neighborhood and all the neighbors where we live. I'm not going to miss her terribly.
And last but certainly not least, we invite DJ forward to share with us his life as devoted dog dad to Hammer Hollow Tammy II Wright.
Thanks, Jenny. I don't have much because I think everybody here gets it. She was and is my little girl. And we hear a lot about dogs being man's best friend, and everybody that's come through has already made comments about how they don't know what they're gonna do when it comes time for their dog. And I get it. And I'm not gonna say Tammy was more or less special than any other dog out there, but hot damn, she had an innate ability that I've never seen growing up. I mean, we've never had less than 10 dogs in the house at any one point in my entire life. I mean, I was pretty much raised under a hot heat lamp with all the other puppies that I was rolling around with. I'm not kidding. You can ask them. That's the reality. Give me some straw and I'm happy. But, growing up with beagles and coonhounds, black and tans, walkers, blue ticks, very smart breeds, I always wanted a chocolate lab. It was just, I don't know why. And of course, my dad said, well, if they can't hunt, we can't have them. And I didn't like that. And we didn't do a lot of bird hunting out on Long Island, so there's no retrieving. So eventually, when I bought the house, I said, you know what? I want my chocolate lab. And as you all read in the obit, that little white patch came running over to me. And I've been known, and you can ask my care team, I'm known as the dog whisperer. When we go to a house and a person's in the bed deceased, the hospice nurse can't get there. Nobody can get to the dog or to the person except me. I come in, and it's just this thing I have, and I'm proud of it. So when I went to meet this, after I had done my research, I wanted an English lab. I knew what I wanted. And all these puppies, none of them would come to me. I'm like, what? Like, I didn't embalm? I didn't have chemicals on me? What's going on? Why are these dogs not coming to me? But this little white chunk, and you can see it there in that little picture, just trotted. And if you've ever seen a chocolate lab puppy, they are little balls of mush. So she comes hopping over, and that was it. It was like, no, I don't even need to see anything else. Like, this is it. And from there, I watched this dog grow, and not just a dog. She had an insane ability, and so many, I'm humbled by the amount of family members of people that I've had the honor to serve here that have come through. I mean, Tammy would sit during arrangements and she could pinpoint when somebody needed her love before they knew it. She would go over and just sit and look at them, and they'd kind of look at her like, what, do I smell? And inevitably, within about 2 minutes, they would be broken down because I would get into a topic, and she knew. It was like an epileptic dog or an insulin-dependent, diabetic dog. They can smell. She just knew. And I'd look at it, and I'd be like, how does she just get it? I won't give a name, but I had a person let me know on Thursday they were going to commit suicide. They had a plan after the funeral. But then they came and met Tammy. I mean, think about that. She saved, literally, a life. And all she had to do was what I stand up here and preach all the time about. Just be respectful to one another. To love one another just a little bit more. To do all the things that we would stand before the best person we could think about and say at their funeral. All those good adjectives. All those good verbs. All those things that make God knows you all know me. I can't stand behind a podium. Yeah. All those things. I'm getting in preaching mode now. You're in trouble. All those things that made my little girl not just my little girl, but truly a community member. She simply was good. She simply loved. And she had hope that there would be a cookie on the horizon. Faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is the cookie. Wait, what? Is that how it goes? Something like that. She was just hammers. I don't know how else to say it. And any of you that have a dog that loves you unconditionally get it. Plain and simple. Madonna, hey babe. You get it. You get it. She's the only other one that's done this with doggies. Another colleague of mine from North Jersey. Tammy left her mark on this community. She helped so many people. You know, everybody always says what great things we do here. It's all her. You know, this really, you know, whether you're a dog person, a cat person, you're allergic, you're not allergic, it's her. She puts the love out and asks for nothing in return. And if I can be a little bit more like my dog, I'll consider my life a success. I do have to, I can't begin to thank, I mean, literally I've had thousands of people reach out to me since I put the announcement out on Monday. I can't begin to thank everybody who's reached out. I mean, flowers, food, you name it, we've got it. And I just can't thank everybody enough. My entire care team, you know, thankfully all of you didn't come up because just some of that was just enough. I can't I don't deal with my emotions well. Funeral directors and several of my colleagues are here today. We just don't do this well. We're not on this side. It doesn't work for us. We're the ones taking care. But the amount of genuine reach out has been absolutely amazing. I have to thank my team for making this such a special day today. You know, I do have to obviously, you know, thank, you know, Jim, Big Jim over there and his family. He was he's my lead family ambassador. He also is when I do go on a vacation. I don't really know what those are, but when I do leave, there's nobody I would trust other than him and his wife and daughter to take care of Tammy. And he has 2 dogs, and she loved, actually on the book cover here, that is on one of her outings, running around in the woods behind Jim's house. The only thing that's wrong with that picture, Jim, is she has a collar on, because the first thing I would do, I'd drop her off and he'd reach down and go, what the hell's wrong with him? Take this damn thing off. Too tight. Meanwhile, it's hanging 18 times too big, but it's too tight. But definitely, you know, thanks to them. Again, a special thanks to my entire team. My parents, who obviously have been my biggest supporters my entire life. They've loved Tammy as their own granddaughter. And again, you want to talk about human qualities, that's her. I mean, she had those qualities to touch people's hearts. Obviously, the other Grammy in the room, Grammy Sharon. You know, Michael has been her second dad for, 8 years. You know, so I can't really follow anything he said because it was too perfect for somebody who claims to be not a public speaker. Thanks, because none of us can follow you. Good job. But no, he's treated Tammy like it was his own daughter from the beginning. And you know, we're gonna miss her. But I think if we do the things that I normally stand up here and preach about, which is take each step of our lives trying to honor the person who we don't leave behind, but if we take them with us, this world will be a little bit better place. I know certainly Tammy has made that for me and her sisters, Nalani and Serene. I'm so grateful. We got Nalani 4 years ago to hopefully, you know, just give Tammy some companionship. And of course, it took her, you know, from a 12-year-old down to an 8-year-old. And as you know, look, I'm not a fool. At almost 16, you know, we say 15. She was almost 16. We're gonna have one hell of a party after COVID for her 16th birthday. We still will, but I'm so grateful that Serene got to experience her big sister, and hopefully a lot of Tammy has rubbed off as we're hitting puppy phase. I'm starting to remember some of the things that used to drive me nuts. I do love you, though. And I'm starting to see that in you, and I do love you, too. But again, a very sincere thank you to everybody, and, just after our conclusion, we'll explain a little bit what's going to happen. We hope you can join us for our committal in a few moments. Thank you all. I'm blubbering.
Thank you, DJ. I'm sure there are many dog and pet owners, caretakers, and lovers gathered here today. As DJ said, a lot of us get it. So some of you may be familiar with the writing Rainbow Bridge. This piece is so poignant and meaningful in that it captures the hope that we as humans have in being reunited one day with our furry and faithful companions. And as it goes, just this side of heaven is a place called Rainbow Bridge. When an animal dies that has been especially close to someone here, that pet goes to Rainbow Bridge. There are meadows and hills for all of our special friends so they can run and play together. There is plenty of food, water, and sunshine, and our friends are warm and comfortable. All the animals who had been ill and old are restored to health and vigor. Those who were hurt or maimed are made whole and strong again, just as we remember them in our dreams of days and times gone by. The animals are happy and content, except for one small thing. They each miss someone very special to them who had to be left behind. They all run and play together, but the day comes when one suddenly stops and looks into the distance. Her bright eyes are intent. Her eager body quivers. Suddenly she begins to run from the group, flying over the green grass, her legs carrying her faster and faster. You have been spotted, and when you and your special friend finally meet, you cling together in joyous reunion, never to be parted again. The happy kisses rain upon your face, your hands again caress the beloved head, and you look once more into the trusting eyes of your pet, so long gone from your life, but never absent from your heart. And then you cross the Rainbow Bridge together. I now ask all of you to take a moment with me now and close your eyes. Bring to your mind a special pet that you might be missing today. Whether our sweet Tammy, who we commemorate today, or another precious, furry, feathered, or scaly companion who has gone on before you. Bring their cherished presence to your mind and hold it for a moment. Now imagine that you are walking across those meadows and hills. Your special companion is resting under a tree across the way. They sense your presence and look up. Ah, you have just been spotted. With tail wagging or purring voice or happily flapping wings, your little buddy leaps with delight to see you and jumps into your arms, elated to be with you again. Linger in that moment as the kisses rain upon your face. Share with them the gratitude that you have for their faithful love and companionship. And when you are ready, and only when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Remember that face. Remember that love. Remember this moment as you walk through the rest of your day. While these beloved pets may no longer rest in our laps, we have the gift to be able to cherish each memory and shared moment to keep them alive here in our hearts. We will soon depart to bring Tammy to her final resting place. But before we do, let us call to mind the lessons that we can learn from Tammy and the love she gave. C.J. Frick has succinctly summed up that to be the person your dog thinks you are, you should be gentle, be affectionate, be generous, forgive freely, appreciate the little things, Be determined. Be a team player. Be part of your community. Lead with courage. Be spontaneous. Be brave. Be patient. Make time for what's really important. Be encouraging. Be the best part of someone's day. Be a friend for all seasons. Take the time to make someone smile. Be the person your dog thinks you are.
I'd like to share a poem with you called I Walk With You, a message of comfort from Tammy to her beloved DJ and family. I stood by your bed last night. I came to have a peep. I could see that you were crying and you found it hard to sleep. I whined to you softly as you brushed away a tear. It's me. I haven't left you. I'm well. I'm fine. I'm here. I was close to you at breakfast. I watched you pour the tea. You were thinking of the many times that your hands reached down to me. I was with you at the shops today. Your arms were getting sore. I longed to take your parcels. I wish I could do more. I was with you at my grave today. You tend to it with such care. I want to reassure you that I'm not lying there. I walked with you towards the house as you fumbled for your key. I gently put my paw on you. I smiled and said, "It's me." You looked so very tired and sank into a chair. I tried so hard to let you know that I was standing there. It's possible for me to be so near you every day, to say to you with certainty, I never went away. You sat there very quietly, then smiled. I think you knew. In the stillness of that evening, I was very close to you. The day is over and I smile and watch you yawn and say, good night, God bless, I'll see you in the morning. And when the time is right for you to cross the brief divide, I'll rush across to greet you and we'll stand side by side. I have so many things to show you. There is so much for you to see. Be patient. Live your journey out, then come home to be with me. We gather here on the front lawn of Wright and Ford Family Funeral Home, where Tammy spent each day providing love and comfort to each person who needed her. The perfect resting place for all to come and visit. She will sleep peacefully under the gentle sun and soft breeze. The legacy of her life and love will repose here in perpetuity. To honor her legacy, we will turn our attention to the flagpole, where a tribute flag has been made in her memory and will fly high above her resting place. And I ask DJ to come forward and raise this flag together.
Navy, man, we let him do the knots. Gotta laugh.
We honor the memory of our precious Tammy with the gentle wave of this flag, sending to all of our beloved pets a message of peace and love. We, as pet caregivers, family, friends, and support, bring our loss and sorrow to this place, and together we ask that day by day, our grief will be lessened. Each day, let us continue to see how the relationship we had with Tammy impacts our life today. In closing, I will share with you an excerpt from So God Made a Dog, a loving reflection of the joys and purpose that dogs place in our lives, edited to read, So God Made Tammy. God said, I need somebody strong enough to pull sleds and find moms, yet gentle enough to love babies and lead the blind. Somebody who will spend a day on the couch with a resting head and supportive eyes to lift the spirits of a broken heart. So God made Tammy. It had to be somebody who remained patient and loyal, even through loneliness. Somebody to care, cuddle, snuggle and nuzzle, and cheer and charm and snore and slobber. Maybe get into the trash or chase some squirrels. Somebody who would bring a family together with the selflessness of an open heart. Somebody who would bark, then pant, then reply with the rapid wag of a tail when their best friend says, let's go for a ride in the car. So God made Tammy. We are ever so grateful for Tammy. I thank you all again for joining in today's commemoration of Tammy. My friends, come and visit. Say her name. Be an open ear and heart, and remember to be the person that Tammy thinks you are.